Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Guys, the last 2 years have seen a dramatic change that has occurred at a breakneck pace. What was the catalyst for the Brics to grow at such a quick pace? The US imposed sanctions on Russia, that's what happened. However, only one day after we saw it, the US president issued an executive order. Now, the executive order laid up the groundwork for the new monetary system by outlining digital assets, called CBDCs. It is March of 2023 again. The foreign ministers of Saudi Arabia and Iran have already agreed to meet shortly after speaking over the phone. Currently, our attention was directed on the actions of the Brics. An official request to join the Brics has been made by both of these nations. China mediated an agreement between Saudi Arabia and Iran last year, and the nation has previously stated its desire to extend the BRIC bloc. Afterwards, in November, we received this: the US dollar is the #1 loser. Trade between Saudi Arabia and China is settled in yuan. Surely this has been on the rise. This has been on our minds for some time. But then, in the start of January, we received this. Today, Iran, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates were formally admitted to the Brics. Oil, digital currencies, and commerce on new railroads currently account for 43% of world output, and it accounts for 29% of global GDP. It was this that mattered most. Midway through January, however, Saudi Arabia still hadn't formally joined the Brics. After all, it was a stalemate. An uprising ensued. They couldn't understand what was happening, for the simple reason that I documented both topics in a video. However, the historic day has now arrived. Saudi Arabia has joined the Brics. The mainstream media will not cover this story, thus you won't hear anything about it. There is a major change occurring as we examine this situation. Central bankers are stockpiling gold in record numbers as fiat currencies begin to falter against digital assets. Tokenization has thrust the entire cryptocurrency scene into the limelight, and BlackRock sees tokenization as the next great thing that will outstrip all other asset classes, all while the majority of people are still oblivious to this development. In light of these remarks, it's important to remember that the loss of the petrodollar and its role as the reserve currency is a mostly unreported development. We are seeing the fast collapse of an empire that has brought about its own downfall. That is definitely worth discussing. In light of current events in the US, it seems like everyone is accusing Biden of being to blame. Politics is always being brought up, but what if I told you that both sides are in it for the money? None of this is externally caused. A new financial system is being ushered in while we see our current one collapse in real time. Going back to 2008, as I've said on the channel several times, have we really recovered, or are we only pretending that everything is fine? This enchanted land production has been going strong for quite some time. Simply said, it's all not real. There's no truth to it. We've already shown that the reserve banking system, specifically, the fractional reserve banking system, is a massive hoax. However, we have already discussed this in 2008. Since then, the system as a whole has been propped up and inflated by the creation of enormous quantities of money in order to give the impression that we have recovered strongly. Except that hasn't happened either. For what seems like an eternity, we've been engaged in a game that is obviously not real. Now, as I said before, the petrodollar transaction is the main reason why this is so very important in relation to oil. For the simple reason that our standing as a reserve currency would inevitably erode if we ever lose that. This is occurring while the majority of people are oblivious to the true nature of the situation. Movements of this magnitude are taking place outside the United States, and they will alter the course of history. I thought it was just Saudi Arabia. It includes the United Arab Emirates, Iran, Egypt, and Ethiopia. Our familiar US dollar has ground to a halt. There is really no turning back now. What will happen next? We wonder as we examine this. There it is, the video concludes. Do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. See you later, bye.